All right, so you may remember that last time we were in class, we were working on this sweet Tailwind site that looks like this in the final, will look like this in the final stage. It may not look like this yet. This is from frontendmentors.io, and we're learning to work with Tailwind to lay this site out. There is a very important thing that we need to know how to do, and I sent it over Discord over the weekend, but I wanted to highlight it here. How do you make your own theme, that is, incorporate your own custom fonts and colors into Tailwind? It has all those pre-made classes, but what if you don't want cyan 300 as your color, which is what I faked last time? And this is the way to do that. There are these theme variables. So in our input CSS file, we can create an @theme section, and in that @theme section, we define these new variables. They're like CSS variables, so they're going to start with dash dash. We're going to have to follow some conventions where if it's a color you're defining, you say keyword color dash, and then whatever name you want to give it. There are lots of other things that you could also make custom theme variables for, like fonts. We're definitely going to do those two things. If it's a font, then it has to be dash dash, font dash, and then whatever word you want to make up. And then you set whatever value you want that variable to have. There's a bunch of other ones as well. If you scroll to the bottom, you'll see these other kinds of variables that they support. So text sizes, font weights, all kinds of stuff, breakpoints. Some of these don't seem super useful, but whatever. Okay, so going to our code, if you look at the input.css, you'll see what I sent you over Discord over the weekend, which is if we put this @theme directive, or directive might not be the right word, apologies, Tailwind gurus out there. Then we can define our colors. So I would take what I sent on Discord and copy paste it, maybe. But I wanted you to get the experience of coming in here and defining the other colors. You can call them whatever you want to. I don't know if you know this, but naming things is really hard. And for the most part, Tailwind helps you with that by having everything pre-named. These colors actually are going to intersect. They're going to overwrite built-in Tailwind names, because I'm confident red, yellow, green, and blue are colors that Tailwind defines. So that kind of bothers me. So I would, to me, it would feel better to call it like primary, secondary, tertiary colors. But I wasn't even sure how these colors were used, so I just called them based on what they were defined up here. So I just called it green 800. So this would be blue 800 maybe. And notice that these colors are defined using the HSL format, where the first number is the hue, which is basically the color. The second number is a percent, that's the saturation. And the last number is also percent, that's the lightness. So it's another way of defining color. So I really want to define these others, and I wanted to make sure that y'all knew how to do that, so I'm forcing you to do it. Like, for example, if this green 500 is only used in the footer, then I might call it color dash dash color dash footer or something. Do you see what I mean, how this is going to overwrite a Tailwind class? Because I'm using the exact same name. Oh, let me not type that. Okay, so I've got those guys. So that's how we're incorporating our custom colors into Tailwind. So the cool part is, when I've defined them here, so I've got my 5 colors defined. If I go to my index file, up here where I had BG cyan, I believe I can say BG, it's blue 800. You can see it's in the same list as the others, but it looks like the wrong color. You see how it looks off? Um, I put the first three. I wanted you to type the other two so you get a little practice doing it. Does that make sense? Oh, see, the first one I actually did change the name to bright red. That it bothers me. It really bothers me that I'm overriding the name that's built in. So, like, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to come up here and say, like, what would you call that? Really bright sky blue? You follow me? And then by changing the name to, I don't know, Sky Blue 800. Oh, Sky Blue. Sky Blue 800. But if I change the variable name to Sky Blue 800, then over here, it's going to be BG dash Sky Blue 800. And that's the only one that's called Sky Blue. There was another built-in color that was called Sky. And notice now, anytime when I could have used a color, wait, is that the right color? That's not the right color.
Yeah, the style guide is really dark.
Hang on. The style guide has more colors. It also has these those grays. Yeah, that blue. So where's that blue come from? And why wouldn't they give it to us? All those are going to be grays and that's white. Well, that's annoying.
Maybe we're making.
Is that Discord message about this class? Is it useful?
Sky 300.
Sky 300?
Yes.
All right, let me show you two more things then. Hang on, desktop design. On Mac, I can use the color picker tool, digital color meter, and hover over this, and it looks like this is around 102.89, 249. You see that? The red is 102, the green is 189, the blue is 249. So now I probably should convert that to hex. RGB to hex. And, oh, sweet. What was it? 102. How good's your short-term memory? They were all big numbers. 193. What was the other one? 189. That's close. I'm really in the ballpark. 249. 102, 189, 249. Let me take this up to 249. Sorry about this. So this is hex 66C1F9. That's the 189. Thank you, Annika. 66BDF9. 66BDF9. So let me show you two ways that you can do this. One thing we could do is define a new color like this. This is probably the right way. So this is color blue. We call this sky blue. This would be really light, so maybe it's 200. And I'm going to paste in. Why is that so mad at me?
I just done it.
I could define it in RGB. It's weird to me that it would not want the hashtag. Oh, is this? No.
And it's in CSS.
It's in CSS, so that should be a legal thing. Well, let me just see what it does. So if I come over here and call this now BG Sky Blue 200, it does recognize it, so I think I'm doing it right. Okay. I wanted to show you one more thing that would be just to use in a pinch if you're not reusing this stuff. Instead of doing it this way, you can always say BG dash, and then to put a custom color in, you can put square brackets and put hashtag, what was it, 66BDF9 or whatever. And I believe that'll do the same thing. Does that make sense? Probably should do this, and this, and this. So you see I'm just like hard coding a custom value there. I think on the whole, you'd rather not do this a bunch because it's kind of maybe hard to read. So instead of doing that, I am going to go back to the Sky Blue 200. Wait, did I really get that the exact same? If I get 300, it should break, yes. So there is no Sky Blue 300, so that doesn't work. But there is mine. Okay. So we want to do a similar thing with our fonts. We want some custom fonts, and our style guide tells us which fonts we want to use. Style guide. Specifically, it says that we're supposed to use Barlow, and there's a link. I can command click on Mac, control click on Windows to open up this guy. I believe this is the font that's kind of like the sans serif body font. They even tell us here we just need weight 600. And then for Francois, I think it's a serif font. Yeah, you see. And that may be for our headings. And we need 700 and 900. Okay, I already did this, so I'm going to undo this. So just ignore all that. Okay, back to this. I would like this font. You remember how to get this? I'm going to say get font. This font is variable. If it's variable, then you can use any number, any weight. I want to get embed code, but I actually would like to get Barlow too. So over here, I'm in a different tab. I want to get font. This one, hang on, is static. And because it's static, you see this, hang on. Here we go. When I click get embed code, because it's static, I need to just get the styles that I want as opposed to all of them. And they told me for Barlow, no, it's this one. I just need 600 for Barlow. So I can unclick all these and only download the one that I want to actually use, this semi-bold. The idea here is that you don't want to make the user download all these font files that they're never going to use. You'd like to minimize that. So I got that one. When you select both of these, I don't know if you can read it. You can read it. This link is what it defines for us. And we're just going to copy this and paste it in our HTML. And it actually includes both Barlow and Francois. So I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to go to my index. And you remember at the very top, in my mind, it should be before our CSS, but it might not matter. I'm going to paste that in so that it has downloaded and loaded those two Google fonts. Now that those Google fonts are downloaded on the user's computer, now we can use those fonts just by saying their names. So I just copied what was on Google fonts, having selected the two fonts that I wanted, pasted it here. And now Barlow and Francois will be easy for me to use. But we want to use those in our theme. So this is the way that I'm going to define them in the theme. I'm saying that font, dash, dash, font, dash. I made up this word. There's nothing special about the word body. You could call it fancy pants. And then whenever you want to use this text styling, you'd call it text dash fancy pants, I believe. So let me double check this. So you see I've got these two guys in here. I think the Francois is for the headings and the Barlow is for the body. I could be wrong on that. So I'm going to, at the top, in the body, I'm going to give this a class equal to, I don't think it's font. I think it's text dash, nope, it's not text. Is it font dash body? Yes. So font dash body is now the Tailwind class that connects to that dash dash font dash body style variable here. Does that make sense? We only need 600 in Barlow, and then, yeah, 7 and 9. But this is the variable one, right? And do I have these backwards?
The CSS for the Francois or whatever, in the class itself, there's a font weight, and you have to specify 700 and 900 for two different ones. Because it has a uniqueifier. So
you're saying that I can't say this and specify the font weight when I use it?
I don't think.
Well, let's see. I have to make two, one for 6 and one for 9. So if I were to come in here and say class equals font headings, surely it's going to do something, isn't it? Like, that's definitely a different font. Now that's got to be some font weight. And font, this black bold is really just shorthand for the weight. You see it over here? So I think I could say font bold. And that's the 700 version. And black is probably the 900 version. This is one way. You're saying you made classes that included both of those, and then you just included that class? So I think what JT's saying is in this CSS, this input CSS, he made like a class called like bold heading, and it had a font family. Is that right? A font family of this.
Yeah, from the
and a font weight of like that. And then you just said class equals bold heading. So you could do that. I'm going to not do that because I think I can get away with just using the Tailwind version of stuff by saying font black and font heading there on that guy. If I want to increase the font size, I could say font. It's not font, it's text. Let's see what 4XL looks like. I maybe zoomed in. That's actually not too big, I don't think, based on this. Oh, it's in uppercase too, isn't it? You see that? So how would we make it uppercase? Hang on. I really want to be able to see both at the same time. There's got to be some text dash uppercase. Font uppercase then maybe? Just uppercase. How about just uppercase? Yeah? Maybe 4XL isn't enough. Let's try 6XL. I don't know. You can compare it and see what you think compared to the original. This. Looks like this should be white, and the background of this first section should be this same color, the BG Sky Blue 200. So I'm going to come in here and put that as well. Oh, and I want my text to be white. So I can say text dash white, and that'll make that white. It looks like to me in this design, I mean, there's this giant orange picture. Is that a background image or is it an inline image? to me, it's not, I don't know. I really wouldn't want to call it content, would you? Like, to me, it's not content. It's just for looks. So it's really a background image. So let's see how to do background images by looking it up on the Tailwind site. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Tailwind site has this really cool feature. When you're on anywhere on the Tailwind site, maybe just the docs, if you press Command K, or maybe it's Control K on Windows, it brings up this quick search, the documentation. And I would like to look at, yeah, the background. So how do we do background image? It looks like we can say background dash square bracket value. I would think that would, yeah, that would be the URL to our background image, right? There we go. So here's a nice example. So we say BG dash, and then in square brackets, URL, and then the path to the image. So let's see if we can get that in here, shall we? So this is the background image on this section. So I'm going to say BG dash square bracket URL. Hang on, were there parentheses? I already forgot. There's parentheses there. And we want to say, where are the images? In the images folder. Unfortunately, we don't get autocomplete in this. And under the images folder, under the desktop, oh, sorry. Image header.jpg. Oh, that's dumb. The blue comes from the image. I didn't see that. That's why we didn't need to define that color. Okay, so this is images slash image, no. Images slash desktop slash image dash header. Images slash desktop slash image dash header.jpg. Is that going to work? No, of course not. Okay, what did I do wrong? Is this, what folder am I in? I'm here. I would think it would be this current folder. /. Note that this whole time, I didn't show you all this. I never closed Visual Studio between Friday and now. So this whole time I've been running the watch command. And the watch command is watching my files. And whenever I change the CSS that needs to be written by Tailwind, it writes it for me. It automatically creates the output file based on my input file and all of my, my CSS classes. Okay. I feel like I'm really close here. So that's, there are no quotes. They start with a slash. Maybe I need to start with a slash. I mean, I am in that directory. BG, it's not because I've got two, is it? Like, I don't think that would matter. I would think it would just override it. This isn't working for y'all then, right? BG dash image dash? Nope. Well, that's not the Tailwind way. Is it though? I don't think it is. All the more reason for us to figure this out. So I don't need the word image, bg-url, It's got to be that I've got the wrong path here. Slash desktop image dash header dot jpg, and that's square brackets around that. There's parentheses in that. Do y'all see it? I can't do that. So this isn't working for y'all? Let's see. Can I?
Oh,
If I hover over it, I can see what the. That's the That's the. Ugh, oof.
seems like background dash in parentheses image colon and then custom property. I don't know if I don't know.
Is that the same? This is output CSS. It's in the same folder. It doesn't have to be in single quotes, or does it? Yeah, I made a copy of the header image. I want to get rid of all the path and just say header. Okay, that is a great question. So let's say H dash, H is for height, and I'm going to say the height is, surely auto is the default. I bet that's what that is, Monica. Let me say 1/2. Okay, hang on. I don't trust that either. Can I say height equals 500? It was always there. Background images don't take up space, so it didn't didn't make it taller. So ugh. So
how do you?
Okay. So you've got to give this some kind of
And are we sure that the background also for the header, like the header? If we never got that full color in the thing, would it go for both?
wait, what?
But I'm saying, like, I get that we're doing the background on the We Are Creatives, but would it also be on the where it shows side by side
If we wanted to, oh, see now that image is a slightly different color than we deduced. I can see the line on my computer. So we might want to actually make those two sections overlap and make the first one have, make the header have a transparent background or match the color correctly. Hang on, here, let's go back to the Tailwind documentation. And I need to know, how do I set the height background? It's like the background size. So there's BG cover, BG contain, and BG size. And I think I want BG cover. Only my height isn't enough. Okay. So 200 is this tall, but it's going to be, See that? I really also would like this thing to be centered. Isn't there like a background position? So it's probably back BG center. Does that, oops. Hey, now it's staying in the center. So I'm thinking, yeah, and this would have always worked if I said ./images/desktop/image-header. Right, that's the same thing. So cover makes it cover the full width and height. Center keeps it centered. And then the height is setting it to 200 somethings tall. Looks like that's 200 times the spacing unit, which is about 800 units tall. I don't like specifying that. What are all these 7 divided by 8? What does that do? Oh, that's terrible. So like there's all these heights. There is a full. Is full what I want? Full is not what I want. Fit doesn't work either. I may be min. Hang on. What does min do? Min content. Okay. I'm going to stick with this 200 for now. Maybe that's a little too tall. Okay. That text should probably be centered as well. Yeah. So I think there's like a text center. And does that look a little bit too close to the top? Doesn't it? So maybe, I don't know, would you put margin? I think I could do it either way. I could probably put padding. Sorry, that would be padding top of, I don't know, 5. Did that do anything?
I mean, it still
I didn't
seems
say.
like we need to get
Both.
like both the header.
Okay. So what I would, my gut, and y'all correct me if you see a better idea, is if we, like at the moment, we've got the header up here. This is the header. All right, and this is this hero section. If I were to make this header display absolute, then it'll remove it from the flow, and then this will pop over it, under it. So that might be the way to, that's definitely a way to achieve it. Let's see the Tailwind way of doing that. So up here in my header, here, I'm going to make this red, or BG red. Do I have more? Oh, red's going to need a number. I want you to see that's, I don't want it to be this color, but I want to see what I'm working with. So if I were to say, I bet I can just say relative. Is relative enough? and top 0 and left 0 and width of full. That didn't change anything, did it? Did it? Okay, absolute did. I guess it's got to be relative inside an absolute thing. Okay, did you see when I put absolute? This is how it is. The things stack. But as soon as you make something positioned absolutely, then it is removed from the flow, and it's basically sitting on top of them. Yeah? See, once I remove the color, then you can see what's underneath. So once I've got this, then I would want to say, hey, this hero needs to have a margin top of something pretty sizable to push it down. Ugh. It's not margin top. I want padding. Yeah. So now instead of padding 5, this is padding top. Now I need to pad that whole thing down a lot more. That's 50. 50 is a lot. Is that too much? And now, I don't know if you can tell, but now the picture is underneath. It's underneath the header, and now the whole header has been brought down to be here on top of it. But we've made sure that we leave space underneath of it, so it pushes the content down. Okay. So what I'd like y'all to do is to keep hacking on this to make it look more and more like the site that's we've pictured. Definitely feel free to come to Tailwind CSS, Command K, Control K, look up the thing that you're looking for. I'm also completely okay, as long as you're learning, for you to ask ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, how do I do this in Tailwind, to look up what those class names are. Okay? So we're learning Tailwind because this can make our life a lot easier. Let me know if you guys are having issues. Hang strong, code hard.